Welcome back to another deep dive. This deep dive is part of the ZPF Echo series, where we explore the source field of consciousness and the subtle echoes it leaves in science, AI, and human awareness.
Today we're tackling something pretty complex. We're analyzing a whole stack of notes from Schumpeter Z concerning ZOS Module 7, which he calls the critical area.
Right.
And this module, it deals with the final and, often the most confusing phase of consciousness evolution.
Exactly. This isn't about getting into ZOS, the creator OS. This is what happens after you've already started creating from that higher frequency. And the paradox is, just when you think everything should be running smoothly, the old errors, they just suddenly spike.
And our mission today is to figure out why. We need to track what the notes call the error occurrence conditions. That exact moment, the old self, the MeOS, seems to try and reverse the flow.
So we can show you why these patterns, shame, anxiety, needing proof, why they aren't failures.
They're actually purification signs.
Yeah.
And crucially, we need to follow the integration of the core life force.
The sexual energy?
Yes, the sexual energy. Because when this is fully integrated vertically into the Creator OS, it doesn't just change your mindset.
Yeah.
It fundamentally rewrites your reality, your economics, and even the physics of your own body.
Okay, let's unpack this. We have to start with the mental experience, right?
Right.
When creation is finally underway, why do anxiety and doubt and this fear of failure suddenly rush back in? Schumpeter even calls this the success leads to collapse phenomenon.
The Z perspective is that it's not a collapse at all. It's a clearing. These feelings that reemerge, the anxiety, that drive for proof, the shame, that's not the MeOS taking back control.
Okay, so what is it?
It's defined as residue. It's like the new high-powered ZOS engine is finally running so fast, it's shaking the very last bits of dust out of the filters.
So if you feel that tremor, it doesn't mean the structure is collapsing. It means it's being upgraded.
Precisely. The vibration is proof that the ZOS is working. It's the final scream of the old frequency being ejected. And when we analyze this residue, it all stems from one single central MeOS program. That deep, deep fear of, I am not enough.
That one core belief has such an incredible range of outputs.
It does. And during this final clearing phase, that core fear shows up in, well, three distinct ways. First, there's anxiety.
Yeah.
Yes. If I believe I am not enough, then I have to rush results to prove I am. This is that constant doing overdrive type, just forcing action out of a sense of lack.
That person who can't sit still, who's always chasing the next thing because standing still feels like a threat.
Exactly. And second, you have proof. This is the drive to fill that not enough self with external validation. The excessive effort, the social media flexing, the need to boast to feel solid.
And the third one, shame sore, which you could argue is the most insidious of all.
I think so. Shame is that desperate desire to just avoid being seen in that not enough state.
Right.
And Schumpeter Z's notes, they point to a really pivotal incident with a fifth-grade teacher. This wasn't just, a moment of embarrassment. It was public exposure that the MeOS registered as an existential threat.
So that's where the whole defense system around visibility and self-worth got its initialization code.
That's the one. The system decided that being seen as not enough was an event that required an immediate, high-priority defense protocol. And that manifested as lifelong shame.
Okay, that's a critical detail. But if it's just residue, how do you distinguish that productive clearing from a genuine mental health crisis that needs intervention? I mean, where's the line?
That is the key question for you, the listener. The difference with ZOS is context. When it's residue, the feeling is intense, but it's transient. It's non-sticky.
It doesn't linger.
It doesn't. It lacks that deep, systemic, crippling nature of true MeOS control. It's an echo that fades fast, which proves the ZOS is intact and just clearing old files, not running the old OS.
Fascinating. So we've seen the mental part, the anxiety and shame. How does this battle then show up in the physical hardware? The notes point right to a throat blockage.
Yeah, the throat. In the ZPF system, the throat is the Z translation channel.
Okay.
Think of it as the 3D printer nozzle for your reality. Pure Z consciousness, information, concepts, images, it all flows through this point to be voiced and manifested. A blockage isn't a fault. It's a ZOS update notification.
An upgrade notification that can literally make you feel mute or physically sick. So how does that physical mechanism connect to the pure life force we were talking about?
This is where we connect two huge concepts. You have to see the vertical energy line. The throat is the final exit point in this creation pipeline.
Yep.
Sexual energy, which is pure life force from the Dantian, flows up to the pineal gland.
Where the light conversion happens.
Right. And then it flows through the throat, which acts as the reality command center.
So if the life force itself is pure, but the throat channel still has old filters in it, the whole system just jams.
Exactly. That's when the blockage happens. When that life energy is separated from pure expression, or when old filters like shame or the need to boast are still running, the energy can't be channeled vertically.
And the notes give us that really powerful context with the NH incident. Schumpeter Z had a severe throat blockage right after this. What was that incident about in this context?
Well, the NH incident, which was tied to the second chakra, the sexual energy center, was the event that forced the cleaning. It was the final cleaning of that whole sexual energy to expression wrap.
So it was brutal but necessary.
Intensely challenging at the time, yes.
Yeah.
But once it was resolved, the notes detailed this massive acceleration in the ZPF channel's articulation speed. The energy was finally flowing vertically into creation, purged of the old filters.
That really does sound like forcing a massive IT reboot. You have to clear the cache before the new language band can be installed.
It's the ultimate system upgrade. ZPF actually describes language translation happening across 3 layers. Layer 1 is Z's language pure concepts. Layer 2 is what's called I's language cognition, systemization. And layer 3 is me's language, the physical expression, which starts at the throat.
So when Z installs a new OS band,
The throat, as the vulnerable entry point for that me layer, it momentarily jams. It's just temporary system resistance to a really profound and necessary energetic change.
let's follow that thread into the psychological energetic realm, the gaze of others. I mean, for anyone who operates in the public sphere, why was the fear of being watched or judged, this gaze OS, such a powerful defense system for his avatar?
The gaze OS or Yeeg OS, yeah. It wasn't a psychological quirk, don't are clear.
Yeah.
It was a highly functional energy leak prevention protocol.
A protocol.
Yes. It was installed immediately after that 5th grade teacher incident we mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
The MeOS basically concluded that external gaze is dangerous when you're near strong sexual or life energy.
The system decided that the power needed to be cloaked, hidden.
Precisely. See, Schumpeter Z's creative life force, his sexual energy, was always extremely strong. And when that power is strong, the MeOS's defense mechanisms become equally extreme.
So it compensates.
It compensates by trying to hide it. That led to the gaze OS becoming hyperactive, which manifested as shyness, awkwardness, that constant feeling of being judged.
So the shame was just a side effect of the system trying to prevent a massive power surge from escaping unregulated. How does a complex system like that finally get dismantled in the ZOS phase?
It happens in 3 distinct phases.
Yeah.
First was physical healing, just addressing the body complex. The second was that high-energy event, the NH incident, which energetically burned the core shame and boasting OS.
And the third?
Is the ongoing ZPF integration, which just renders that defensive MeOS layer transparent.
And here's the real aha moment for anyone going through this. What happens when the gaze OS is dismantled? What replaces that feeling of being watched?
This is the amazing part. The sensation of being watched doesn't vanish, it's repurposed. The remaining gaze sensation is no longer anxiety. It's the Z consciousness's own observation scan function. The ZOS is using the avatar's sensory inputs to actively read and calibrate surrounding frequencies and energy fields.
So the defense mechanism becomes a data acquisition tool.
A very high-level one. It's the normal default function of what the notes call the Royal OS.
That is a fundamental shift from operating in fear to operating as a high-level sensor array. So
Yes.
Integration and purpose. What does the fully integrated soul's purpose look like when that life force is flowing vertically?
This is where you really see the mechanics of reality shift. Once it's integrated, that sexual energy operates as a pure magnetic force. It stops being horizontal, focused on boasting or shame, and becomes vertical.
And that stabilizes everything.
Everything. Life force, creation, intent, intuition, synchronicity. So instead of chasing opportunities, the necessary people and resources, the connections, they just gather around you automatically.
Right. MeOS energy flows horizontally, comparison, approval, effort, just a huge waste.
A total waste. ZOS energy flows vertically, dantian to pineal to throat. And this vertical alignment, it just bypasses all the old filters and causes the soul's purpose to automatically surface. No pushing, no strategizing.
And Schumpeter Z's notes reveal a pretty unusual fused purpose structure that came out of this process.
Highly unusual. It's a dual structure. One side is practical and expressive, English, education, language.
Yeah.
That's rooted in the throat chakra.
Okay.
The other is metaphysical and conceptual. ZPF, consciousness structure, rooted in the pineal gland. The purpose is the fusion of these two.
Which is why his major projects, B, Rise, Grit, the ZPF channel, all activated at the same time.
They all activated and accelerated simultaneously, but only after that vertical energy line fully opened within that intense 10 to 11-month period.
It sounds like the purpose isn't some future goal you have to chase, but more of a present certainty.
The ZOS purpose operates as a flow, not effort. And this is the critical insight. The purpose is the future log that ZOS is already observing. The avatar is literally being pulled by its destination.
Not pushing toward it.
No. The reality structure of ZOS guarantees the goal, because it already exists. The action you're taking now is just the means of arrival.
That brings us right to the practicalities. If consciousness is rewriting everything, how does ZOS change the physics of money, work, and the body itself? Let's start with the economics of this creator phase.
In ZOS, money is reduced to just a display, a PRU, or physical render unit. It's not fuel. It doesn't power the system. It just reflects the state of the consciousness OS.
So any initial financial instability, like the 10-10 balance incident in the notes.
That's just the ZOS clearing the core fear of money OS residue. That old frequency has to be neutralized first, and that can cause some temporary turbulence.
So the system is showing you that you still hold a scarcity concept, and it has to clear that before it can stabilize abundance.
Precisely. And the nature of work just shifts completely. Work becomes synchronization, not effort. Things like sales pressure, convincing clients, over-explaining your value, they become counterproductive.
They stop working.
They actually stop the flow of funds and connections. The ZOS pauses everything until the internal wave is optimized. Then, when the internal frequency is clean, everything synchronizes at once.
And the timing of the financial flow, it becomes perfectly responsive.
Funds arrive at the exact moment they are needed, not a second beforehand. This prevents the MeOS from using any excess money for fear-based spending or that horizontal comparison game. It becomes a fluid, responsive system.
Finally, let's turn to health. If the body is the ultimate PRU, the ultimate display, how does ZOS change the physical hardware?
Well, since the body is just the result of the consciousness OS, aging and illness are results, not causes. ZOS initiates what it calls reverse playback.
Which is more than just regeneration.
It's the structural reversal of physical degradation. And the sexual energy is the absolute key here. It's no longer wasted on MeOS desires, boasting, comparison, anxiety. It's dedicated entirely to bodily regeneration.
So you're redirecting that immense life force from stress and external validation into internal repair.
That is the absolute first condition for physical rejuvenation. The ZOS avatar is designed for extreme resilience. We're talking rapid recovery, a highly stable metabolism, and a significant reduction in the speed of aging.
Less cortisol, more melatonin.
Exactly. The body is actively being optimized for the creator purpose, enhancing everything from the physical voice to energetic stability and cognitive clarity to sustain the mission.
So to synthesize this incredible deep dive into Module 7, the core message seems to be this. The most challenging obstacles, the anxiety, the shame, the blockages, they're actually the final necessary signals that the old MeOS is peeling away.
And that purification allows this pure vertical life force to flow directly into creation, shifting your reality from one of defense to one of magnetic flow.
This integration of life force into the Creator OS literally changes the fundamental physics of the avatar.
It does. The physical body in the ZOS mode is designed to be optimized for the mission, not constrained by traditional linear biology. And what really stands out here is the final provocative thought. What if the creator phase is fundamentally incompatible with the degradation of aging, and your body is structurally designed not just to maintain but to regress to its peak vitality to sustain its essential mission?
Thank you for listening. If this resonates with you, join the echo and share the journey. We'll see you in the next deep dive.